Good Sunday, everybody. We're having another episode today of What's Cooking in the Kitchen with Katie. It's been a while since we've done one, so we're going to go ahead and do another one. Today, we are going to get into the Halloween spirit today. We are going to do a recipe I used to make with my mom when I was younger, and it's a very good recipe for anybody who has kids. And this recipe is good for anybody who has a nut allergy because this is nut free. But the recipe I used to make when I was younger did have some sort of nut in it. Well, it's actually peanut butter. So, but today we're going to make it nut friendly for everybody. So let me go ahead and show you what we're going to make today. We are going to make Scardy cat cookies. And this recipe is a little bit different from when I used to make it with my mom when I was younger. We're going to make a few changes and we're going to alter it a little bit. And again, we're going to make this a nut-free recipe for anybody with nut allergies, so that way it's friendly for everybody. So let's go ahead and get started. So the first thing that we are going to do is we're going to set the oven for 350 degrees. Oh, just went past it. So we're going to go ahead and set that, and we're going to let that heat up. Alright, and so now what we're going to do is we're going to add 2 sticks of butter, which equals 1 cup. And technically this is supposed to be at room temperature, but silly old me, I forgot to take the butter out first thing this morning, so we're just going to heat it up a little bit and just get it a little bit softened. So let's go with 15 seconds and see how that does. Hopefully it doesn't get too soft, because you don't want it to be melty, that is for sure. That would not turn out very well. Okay, let's see what we got. Let's see here. Let's give it another 15 seconds and see what we do. Okay, so let's try that out. Oh, that's perfect. Not too melty, but just perfectly soft. Alright, so now once we finally got the butter softened a little bit, we are going to put that in a separate bowl. We're going to combine the butter and the sugar. So again, it's going to be 1 cup of butter, which is going to be 2 sticks of butter. Getting lots of butter. Put that in there. Oh, these are just perfectly softened, so they're not too melty, so it works out perfect. Alright, and now we're going to add 2 cups of sugar. So I got the first one prepared. Now we're going to go ahead and get the other one ready. This is a lot of sugar, too. So this is definitely not a diet recipe, that's for sure. But it's Halloween. Why not? It's all about candy and sweet stuff and all sorts of stuff. It's that wonderful time of the year where you got Halloween, Thanksgiving, and Christmas all in a row. And I love it. Alright, so once we combined the butter and the sugar, we are now going to beat in the eggs and vanilla. Alright, so for the eggs, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use an egg substitute. It'll just make it a tad bit healthier, and I know I said before with the butter and the sugar it's not really the healthiest recipe, but at least we can make some alternatives with this. So usually I don't put regular eggs in most things unless it's required, but I usually always use an egg substitute. It cuts out the calories a little bit, so we are going to use that for today, but you can definitely use regular eggs, that's for sure. Okay, so we're going to beat in the eggs and the vanilla. So the eggs, we're going to use 2 eggs. So on this, 2 large eggs is going to be a 1/2 cup. So let's go ahead and get our 1/2 cup ready. Okay, so 1/2 cup of eggs. And now now we are going to use 1 tablespoon of vanilla. And I just realized I forgot to get my tablespoon out, so I got it now. So again, it's going to be 1 tablespoon of vanilla. So pour that in there. There. Alright. And now we are going to mix this all together now.
Hey guys, it's Katie. So I realized while I was looking through this video that apparently that my part of recording what the butter and sugar mixture was supposed to look like never recorded. Instead, as you can see, it recorded me getting ready for the next scene, and of course I am oblivious to the fact that, hey, I did not turn the video off. So that was my fault, and I do apologize. So I am using this voiceover to kind of explain about the butter and sugar mixture. Basically what it's supposed to look like is kind of like a vanilla pudding kind of mixture. It did show that it was a little lumpy, but again, as I explained in the beginning of the video, I forgot to soften out the butter, which is the reason why it looked very lumpy. So normally I don't think it was supposed to look lumpy, but I just wanted to mention again, always make sure that the butter is softened before you put in the mixture. But again, it's supposed to look like a vanilla pudding kind of mixture, very very yellow consistency, very thick. So when you get to that point, you just set it aside, and
I just realized that I was recording this whole time. Well, shoot. Well, guys, I guess apparently I just realized I was recording me getting everything else for the next scene, so I do apologize for that, but I will edit that out. But what we're going to do next, we just set the bowl aside, and we got another bowl, and we are going to combine the flour, the cocoa, baking powder, baking soda, and salt. So for the flour, we're going to do 3 cups of flour. 1, 2. Woo! Oh, crud! Yeah, don't do that. Don't do that. That is not good. Especially when you're wearing a black shirt. That definitely does not work. Okay, and then we got 3. Alright, well, hold on. Let me get cleaned up, and then we will go ahead to the next scene. Alright, so I got myself all cleaned up. So next, once you combine the flour, we're going to add the cocoa, and it's going to be 1 cup of cocoa. Holy mackerel. Question is, do I have 1 cup of cocoa? Oh yeah, I definitely do. Man, that has a lot of cocoa too. I didn't really read this recipe all the way through, knowing that this is going to be a big batch. But this does make 2 dozen cookies, so it shouldn't surprise me, but hey, it's what the recipe calls for. Woo! Okay, so that's just a little less than a cup, but we'll just make it go. Okay, so we got that taken care of. Okay, and now we are going to have it's going to be a half a teaspoon of baking powder. So let me grab the baking powder here. And we got 1 teaspoon. There we go. Nope. We'll rub that off a little bit. So we got 1 teaspoon of baking powder. Alright, and now we are going to add 1, I keep saying 1, it's not 1. It's going to be a half a teaspoon of baking soda. So I got the baking soda. Put that on there. If I can get it all the way on there. Maybe. Man, this thing is not cooperating. There we go. Okay, so we got baking soda. Okay, now we need a half a teaspoon of salt. So, we got the salt. Okay. And now we are going to gradually add the butter mixture. So, I'm going to add that in here. So we'll add a little bit in there. Okay, and then we're going to stir this thing up. Stir it up here. Alright, so after you mix it all together, that's what it's supposed to look like. It's supposed to look a little doughy. So we are going to go on to the next. What we're going to do is we're going to grease our cooking sheets. Okay, and then we're going to take our mixture and we are going to form the mixture into dough balls, into 1.5 inch balls. And then we're going to place them on the baking sheets about 3 inches apart. Alright, so now once you get your balls made onto the baking sheet, we are now going to take a glass with a circular bottom, and you're going to have a little cup of sugar. You're going to place the cup down there on the bottom, and actually I forgot I need to butter the bottom, so butter the bottom, and then you're going to squish down the chocolate balls so that way they make a circle. So let me go ahead and get some butter on the bottom of this, and then we should be good to go. Okay, so once I got the bottom of the glass filled, gonna put it there in the sugar, and then you're gonna go to one of the balls, and you're just gonna squish it down, and then it should look like that. And then you just do the same thing for the rest of them. So I'll do the first row so you guys get an idea of how it's done. Oh, that one looks like Pac-Man. Okay. So, okay. I'm gonna add more sugar. And then squish. Alright, and again, that's how they are supposed to look. Let me get a little bit of sugar on that one. Alright, and then you just do that for the rest of the cookies. Alright, so once you press down all your cookies, next thing we're going to do is we're going to make the ears to the cookies. So you see, I just went ahead and did one already because those cookies were smushed together a little bit, so I just decided to go ahead and get a head start on that one. So what you're going to do is you're just going to take the top and you're going to form like a bit of a tip on each side. Squeeze that in. Okay. And then gonna do the same thing for the rest of the cookies. Okay. Alright, so after you make the ears, next we are going to make the whiskers. So what you're going to do is you're going to take a fork, and then you're going to place the fork like this. So the whiskers are facing up, just like that. It's kind of hard to see with this camera, but make sure that they are facing upwards. You don't want any sad pussycats on this one. But if you were my husband, you'd probably say, yeah, make them all sad. In case you haven't heard from on the sarcasm in my voice, my husband is allergic to cats. He's not a big fan of cats, And he always picks on me because I grew up with cats. But, oh well, this is fun. So, yeah, just make the whiskers for all the cookies, and then we'll go to the next step. Alright, so after we make the whiskers, they are ready to be put in the oven. So again, like beforehand, we set the oven at 350 degrees. Okay, and then we are going to set the timer for 7 to 8 minutes. So we're going to go ahead and do 7 and see how they do then. Alright, now they're going to go ahead and take our cookies out. And they look pretty good, so we'll go ahead take them out, and then we're going to put them over here. And once you do take them out, right away you are going to put on the candy corn for the eyes and the M&Ms for the nose. Now the recipe that we are doing is asking for like cinnamon chips, but when I was younger, we went ahead and used M&Ms for the noses instead of the cinnamon chips. Now, I know this was going to be a peanut-free one, and I know it says the M&Ms may contain peanuts, so if you do have a peanut allergy, go ahead and use the cinnamon chips. If not, go ahead and use the M&Ms. It'll make it fun for the kids. So, what we're going to do is we're going to put the one eye over here, and the other eye on here. Gonna grab an M&M, gonna dash that right in the middle there, and see, you got cat eyes and a cat nose. So, and you can also use the Halloween M&Ms too if you want to make them a little bit more scarier. But since I got these at a discount at Kroger, I just got the fun size pack since they were on sale and just used them that way. But either way, whatever you would like to do, it all works the same. Alright, and here are the finishing products for the Scardy Cat cookies. And that is what they are supposed to look like, and they are cooling off right now, and we will test them and see how they turned out. Well, let's see how these little guys turn out. Are they going to be better without the peanut butter, or are they going to taste better and should have had the peanut butter? And I forgot to mention earlier, if you do want to try and use the peanut butter in this recipe, I believe the recipe calls for a cup of creamy peanut butter. I don't remember for sure, but if I am wrong, I'll just comment down here below and let you know the actual recipe for it. But let's see how these babies turn out. Not bad. Not bad. Personally, I think I do miss the peanut butter in it, but if you're not a huge peanut butter fan and just like the chocolate, I think this is probably a good alternative for it. And it's not bad at all. This one just came out of the oven, so it is very nice and moist. And that I love that little hint of the M&M, giving that a little bit of a chocolate flavor. But that's not too bad. But personally, in my opinion, I think I do miss the peanut butter in these. But overall, not too bad. And there you have it. That is the recipe for the Scardy Cat cookies. And again, I think it's a great recipe to do with any kind of kid. This recipe, if there's any nut allergies, this is a good recipe for that. But if you do want to try the peanut butter and add that in and see if it's any better, go for it. Definitely comment below and let me know if you do prefer the peanut butter in it, or if you just prefer the recipe with the chocolate in it, and let me know. I'm curious to find out. Alright, well, that is another episode of What's Cooking in the Kitchen with Katie, and I will see you guys next time. So, are you guys feeling a little hungry yet?